distract us. Now this is a mistake because it leads to bishop e4 check. You don't want me to develop with check here. I'm no big fan of Karyakin, so I don't really care what he thinks. He's not relevant, in my opinion. Not particularly relevant. It's a free world. Oh no, wait. That's not the case everywhere. Sorry. What's up, B-Jock? Yeah, at least we're free in some places. I actually thought about queen g5 for a second there. Well, you played the opening slightly inaccurately. I usually think playing worse positions is harder than playing good ones, but that's not always the case. Sometimes you have like only one move, and that's actually easier to deal with. Yeah, because you're always like not paying attention and asking weird questions. You're not really focusing. You don't concentrate. I don't care a lot about chess open risk. Sometimes when we're down on things to do, I've never been interested in the soap opera side of chess. The practical aspect, I like talking about strategy, things like the World Championship in terms of match preparation, like who likes who, and the latest on the Twitch streamers, not interesting. I mean, Karyakin's probably jealous, to be honest. I would imagine. Imagine the opportunity to work with Magnus Carlsen. How much, not only fame, but money. He would get, plus Karyakin lost. He's seemingly likely to be a kind of bitter guy, I would imagine. But I never had much interest in Karyakin. I respect him as a player. How could you not? There was also an interesting op-ed that Nepomniachtchi wrote. I don't remember, was it the New York Times? It had to be. That involved a lot of Karyakin stuff too. He seemed to be kind of criticizing Karyakin, even though Karyakin is on his team or whatever. I didn't really get that whole thing. I was kind of offended by Nepomniachtchi's acting like he's Kasparov, writing op-eds for major newspapers. Anyway, hopefully that'll be the last one. It seemed very petty. No, Dubov is far more talented than Karyakin. But I think this whole thing of being like a second is going to probably hold him back as a player. Now he's had the taste of money and stuff like that, so his own game will probably suffer as a result. Yeah, I mean when you want someone who's, you know, your second, you want them to be obviously very creative. And already in a very short span of time, Dubov has come up with a lot of theoretical ideas. You know, even though he hasn't been playing, you know, that long on a very high level compared to someone like Karyakin, he's contributed a lot more in a short time. Well, Gustafsson is impressive theoretically as well. Some people said he came off as arrogant, but I didn't really get that. I like Gustafsson's. And honestly, if I had to play on another chess site, I would probably much prefer Chess24 if I had to go somewhere. It's a little stuffy. Okay. Oh. Yeah, he's not a Balkan grandmaster. I mean, this game seems like it's taking forever. My God, dude. What is the time control here? Yeah, I mean, some GMs are just like, you know, native opening specialists. It's always kind of been Gustafsson's thing. What is going on with this game? Are you even kidding me? I don't know, dude. How could you be 1850? He's so tricky. Maybe I can stalemate myself. He's fast. He'll never resign. This is like a 20-minute game. Don't resign here, you're down 3 pawns. There's no reason to resign whatsoever. Please resign. Yeah. Yeah, it looks like holdable. It looks very holdable. You're not wasting our time at all. Extremely holdable. I mean, it's the third pawn really, the third pawn really gives you good chances to draw. If it wasn't for that third B pawn, I think I would probably be clearly winning, but with a third B pawn, you might have some chances. It's really weird. Weird ending. I feel that at some point I might not have been winning. Obviously at the end it was absurdly winning, but there was some weirdness going on. It was a draw at one point. So when I drop the F pawn here, yeah, I'm just completely winning and I drop my F pawn. I have to go back the other way. Mister! What's up? Man, that game just took the life out of me. Too long. Right? It was like 20 minutes or something. Stop with the Nimzo. Stop. No, we can't play Nimzo anymore. You're killing me, man. I'm bored of playing the same opening every time. Can't play the same opening every single game. Another player who's super fast. But you crossed 2000. You're no longer like 1999. You're not going to be qualified for the under 2000 prize. Here comes the BOGO. How can I play the BOGO when you play knight c3 on move 3? What? Say what? Don't play this opening much these days. I remember we had a number of games with this. Yeah, you did the exact same thing. This is like his pet variation. I don't like it though. I mean, when you've got all these pawns of white squares and you're like trading off your dark square bishop, dude, that doesn't seem right. Honestly, it doesn't seem right, and you play too fast. You're actually as bad as he is with the playing too fast. You're addicted to bullet as well. And white might be equal here, maybe. But I don't see why you want to trade off your dark square bishop. Okay, you don't want to end up with a bad bishop, I understand. But I'm not sure if that's the right way to play it. Well, if I was playing Stockfish, Daran, Rudin, I would be worried about that. But since I'm not playing Stockfish in any tournaments upcoming soon, You know, it's like Aronian had a quote that Acerbate put in there that like the computer is destroying the fantasy and taking it out of chess. You know, I'm not playing computers in tournaments, so therefore it doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, I mean if you get to that point where chess is so like so you can't even be creative in the opening because Stockfish says it's not good or something. Humans can't really do that much with Stockfish evaluations. But a lot of openings are like that. A lot of fun openings that are practically very good. Do you know what Black's score is like in the database for this opening? It must be massively plus for Black. You know, Stockfish can think about that for a while. What's the statistical results of the Gingy Indian in practice? Far more important than what Stockfish's evaluation is. I mean, if you're playing like Magnus Carlsen, okay, yeah, he knows exactly, like, probably exactly the best way to play. This is another player who's too strong to be like 1900. You're too strong to be 1900. He's like clinically, he's like a clinical master. So systematic. He plays the same thing every game. You know, I can't do that. TBF, TBH. Of course. I don't think I ever lost playing the Gingy Indian in a tournament game. But I haven't played against the strongest players. I mean, it's really good to play against like lower level masters. Here we're just slightly better. You know, one of the weird things about the Gingy Indian is this B5 break. Like, you have a lot of situations where it's actually a good move, but it's counterintuitive. Like, you're like, oh, I don't want to undouble his pawns. Oftentimes, like, that's the only way to, like, make progress, is to literally, like, undouble white's pawns with B5. But Sumahara has this really, really, really strong routine. He always plays the same exact openings. But I think that's bad for your creativity. Should definitely mix it up more. I mean, I understand you're not a professional. You don't have time to study openings all day. But neither do I. And I'm only like a half professional. But I love to play different stuff. I think it's boring if you don't, and it's good for your creativity to play different kind of positions. I think Sumahara would improve more if he would branch out and play different openings. Okay, now what do we do? What is that, back rank? You've always got the rook exchange. I could play f4. Okay, what about queen h5? That looks pretty tough to me. He's got a check. The check is the problem. Hey Zen Chess, what's up? Yeah, Gingy Indian has a plus score. How many openings have a plus score for black? I might time you out for that London comment. Promoting in London is banned on my stream. You've been watching too much Eric Rosen propaganda, dude. You might as well just say that, like, you know, the moon landing didn't happen. Wait, is f3 the best move against the Gingy Indian? According to Lee Chess Opening Explorer? Yeah, YouTube is the place. It's like... You managed to save everything? Damn, dude. Queen takes, loses a piece. I guess I could have taken on c3. His pawn structure is a disaster, you know. This is... I mean, I studied with Roman. That's why I play the Gingy Indian, if you don't know that. It's important to understand that for a time. And then we had a divorce. We haven't talked in like 20 years, but he had an influence on me, obviously. Yeah, he's talking about f3, like the move played in the game. Is that correct? I kind of find that hard to believe, but it's possible. I would think like Gingy Indian would have a winning score in almost all lines in the Master Opening Explorer. f3 is the main move. Back in the day, we weren't sure. We were mostly concerned about f3 and h4. It was unclear which was better. Those are the two main variations. Then there's all these other moves that are just difficult to really judge. Is he dropping a piece here? Yes. He's got a trick. Check, take. Queen h6, rook h4. No. That's not going to work. He has a check on c3, though. It's probably okay for me. If he wasn't getting mated, he would have a... No, even there he does. I could just play rook h7. Yeah, so... I remember there was this team tournament, U.S. Amateur Team Championship. Someone played the Gingy against Karpov and lost. My friend misplayed it against Lev Albert and lost too. Yeah, I mean H4 and E4 are the two lines, main lines. G4 I've seen, and all the other like normal moves. Yeah, F3, interesting. It has it's the only move with a good score. He plays exactly that. But this seems to have superseded other moves. I noticed that. I'm playing knight f6 here, which doesn't have a good score. This move has a dreadful score for black. I guess, what did we used to play? This? Or d6? This is what we used to play. This variation isn't clearly good. This was Roman's thing. He liked this position. I wasn't really sure about this. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't really studied it in 20 years, but I was never a devout player of this opening. I just throw it out there on occasion. But this is relatively modern. You know, back in the 90s, like, we didn't know this move, I don't think. Oscar Pano. That's unbelievable. Oscar Pano was alive and still playing in 2004, and he was still 20. There's no way that Oscar Pano would be like 2482 in today's world when he was like 80 or something. He would be like 2100. See, that's the problem with the rating system being different today. In 2004, old grandmasters could still be 2480. Yeah, good luck with that today. He must have been pretty old. So E5, yeah, I don't know. This does seem like a problem. You have to take, when he plays F3, yeah, is that what the computer says? I mean, Roman's move might be okay. Funny that there's very few games here. You could play a delayed E5. That doesn't look good. So the old system. I don't remember if he played Queen A5 or not. There's this idea. It's like very few games here at all. E5. That looks very complicated. Every Grandmaster... Well, the Serbian Grandmaster, see, we have rating poverty. Yeah, I mean, why is every Grandmaster from Serbia 2300? Because we have to have Indian 1800s who play like 2400s coming to Hungary and Serbia and taking all the rating points. Like every first Saturday, every tournament in Serbia has like 6 players from India who are 2000 but play like they're 2400. You know, they're going from 2000 to like 2400. Pop Misha is playing in the first Saturday now. He's like 2300. Ilincic is like 2319. I mean, these guys, okay, Pop Misha is not that strong, but Ilincic was like 2575, and he won the Yugoslav Championship. The guy's not a 2319. I was ranting about this yesterday. I think the rating system's broken. Chess isn't broken, but the rating system is broken. Or at least we can't make the same comparisons we used to, you know. It used to be that a 2300 Grandmaster was a joke, you know, but it's not anymore. It's not anymore. Yeah. Yeah, like Indian FIDE masters are winning GM tournaments and stuff with like 7.5 out of 9. I mean, exactly, it's crazy, you know. I think at the lower levels, the rating system is totally broken. Yeah. Well, no, I mean, you must have tournaments where you put in Bonsal, but they're just not FIDE rated or something, no? Or they're just improving online? I mean, I'm singling out India because it's the most common case. There are probably others. Yeah, I think as a result of the pandemic, playing a lot online, it's much worse than it used to be. I think the richer countries are going to have higher ratings. It's kind of my point. 92 right away. Alright, I'm starting to take too much time. Oh, okay, I guess it's been a while. I'm playing things I haven't played in a while. So F double M WM. Pano was born in 35. So he was literally like 70, 78 when he played that game. Or 70, he was like 70 when he played that game. So he was only 70. If he was like a Hungarian Grandmaster in 2021 and he was 70, he'd be like 2200. He was a great player in his prime. But I'm just saying, he was 2480 when he was like in his 70s. That's absurd. But that's the difference. That's what's happening now. You know, I know 50-year-old Grandmasters who are 2300. All right, so we had this position years ago, I think. Yeah, Morphe would be on his rating floor, losing to like Indian FIDE Masters. Yeah, 2100. I agree. 1800 is too low. Morphe would be making some tactical mistakes. He'd probably be down around 2200. I mean, personally, I started noticing the rating thing like maybe about 5 years ago. I was able to stay around 2400 until like maybe 2016. It seems like everybody's getting like bunched up or something, except for the elite players who can live in this like exclusive club where they only play each other. It's not like I'll ever get to play a 2700. Maybe once a year if I go to some. If I was lucky, I might be able to get to play like a 2650 in a tournament game. Have you ever played one? What are you talking about? I never played anyone while the rating was currently over 2700. High 26s. I played a bunch of high 26s. And I've played people who have been 2700 but never actively at that moment. Maybe if I went to the, again, if you're like rich and you can play in Gibraltar or Isle of Man, or you have like a private sponsor, if I went to the Isle of Man or Gibraltar and could play, I mean, I could play, but I would have to sacrifice work and stuff. I might get paired with a 2700 in the first round. It's possible. That's my only chance. Or if I played in like the European Championship, and I'm not, if I change my federation to Hungary, played the European Championship, and round one I might get paired with the 2700 or something. Yeah, I don't know. Magnus only got 9 rating points. Well, that's the 10k factor. I have a 10k factor, man. My rating can't change, How can I get to 2500? Do you know how many games I would have to win to get to 2500? Now, if I was like a 16-year-old rated 2000, it would be relatively easy for me to get 2500. I was talking about this with Arsenal fan, like we should sue FIDE for age discrimination. I don't think it's fair that there's this arbitrary like higher K factors for kids or whatever. Well, I don't know about online ratings. I mean, I guess they're statistically fair. I think it's arbitrary, the whole FIDE K factor thing. Yeah, if you want to become an arbiter, well, I'm sure they have a fee for that you can pay. FIDE has a fee for that. It looks like. Man, what a really weird position this is. Do arbiters get good money? Well, I guess in snobby elite tournaments they do. You can definitely pay for your like trainer certificate or go to some classes. I would never apply or try to become a FIDE trainer. It's kind of a scam. Arbiter should be more serious. You have to look into it. Well, I would assume getting the arbitership, you have to like... Wow. You have to kind of perform these arbiter norms, basically. By being like an assistant arbiter, passing some tests about all the rules and stuff. You should look into it, I mean, it's totally possible. I imagine they need arbiters in India with the popularity of chess. What the heck is going on in this game? It's totally random. I have literally no idea what I'm doing. I picked up my king by accident, okay. Paraodi is a good fianchetto player. It's been a while. If I could, I would just like start over and be like 1100 with a 40k factor. It'd be a lot easier to, what I'm saying is it's easy to like raise your rating when you have this low K factor. But now you're like trapped. It shouldn't depend on your age either. Right, okay. Ageism. Damn it. Another good move. Okay, I have bishop f5. This wasn't the plan. But we're gonna have to be flexible. Not exactly a traditional King's Indian here. Replun, I mean, I guess that's what people do. You should play rated tournaments only when you're strong to get a good base rating. That must be the strategy now, in India. Yeah, I would imagine that's true. Don't get an established rating. It was never the case, it didn't work like that when I got my first rating and stuff. Like nobody thought about it in such a way, but yeah. I mean, I guess so. This position is so annoying. What am I supposed to play here? Oh my god, I'm just gonna like lose on time. I'm just gonna lose on time. Okay, whatever. He lost on time. So I think knight takes f6, pawn f6, queen c3. And I'm probably just lost, right? He can't do that. The bottom line is that I'm losing the exchange, right? Knight f6, pawn f6, queen c3. And if I wasn't losing the exchange, I would have been alright. I would have been alright, but... I was about to flag and I couldn't think of the move here. But there is no good move. Oh, that's reassuring. What the hell am I supposed to play in the previous position? I actually have a move here? What did I do? What do I do? I mean, queen c1 is an amazing move. It's really... It looks like black's active, but I have nothing. It's really annoying. I missed a win? Yeah, I mean, d5 was really crazy. He freaked me out with that move. So I should take. Yeah, okay. So take. Then what? Bishop f5? I don't know. What's my next move? What do I do here? Do I take on d5? Yeah, I guess I didn't appreciate, like, I can do this kind of thing. Just, like, take your rook. Alright. Thanks for the game. Zen Chess. Zen Chess is not a subscriber? You're not a subscriber. Give that man a gift sub. Rohan Tennis. And Zen Chess, we lost your challenge. Wasn't really a good game, but it was a fun game. But his d5 was a lie. Yeah, Bob. Subscriptions used to be real. Real prices. Your challenge disappeared, Zen Chess. Life gets in the way. Exactly. It's not about age. What's your take on Madonna topless photos, Bob? Do you think ageism is wrong? I I think FIDE should not discriminate against older players by making the rating system favor the young. I think that's wrong. I'm gonna I'm gonna I'm gonna start a class action lawsuit against well, the older players never get a chance to have the 40k factor. Repun. I never had a chance to have a 40k factor. Where's my 40k factor? I want to restart with my 40k factor. Maybe I can pay a fee to FIDE to start over again. They should have an option for that. I just want to restart. Guarantee you I could get to 2,500. What's up with this variation? You're just hanging your b2 pawn. I mean, that can't be right. I started when I was like 11, and of course by today's standards, it's late. It is late. But, yeah, I mentioned on the stream, chess is in the eye of the beholder. Yeah, Bob, would never be superficial like that. What surface things you would never care about? What am I doing here? Seriously. Queen c7? No. Takes? Takes is bad. I need control of d4 to remain. Remain calm. Queen c7, is it that bad? Maybe it's bad, maybe not. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe we should seriously consider this move. When I was 11, I didn't even know that in chess we can move 2 pawns in the opening. Did I play checkers with the chess pieces until I was like 10? You're kind of bothering me here. Checkers is drafts, you know. It's another word for drafts, as they say. I basically thought it was the same thing, you know. I didn't know how to differentiate between drafts and chess. It was just a board with some squares on it. We used to play at lunch in school. So we were playing like chess with we're playing checkers with the chessboard, is what I'm saying. That's what I did until the age of 10. No, I learned how to move the pieces. I knew how to move the pieces, but still, the rules evaded me. I understood how they moved legally, but the object and so we just like took all the other guys' pieces. That was the object. Hello, I am Bill. Bill the bot. Build a bot workshop. Okay, what am I afraid of here? Afraid of everything. See how crazy this is? Why are you 1800 and you played the whole game in 2 seconds against an IM? This is crazy, dude. Well, what are you doing? You're playing Bullet? Are you Repun's second account? No, a different opening repertoire. But you're doing the same thing. Why do you play so fast? Jeez, look at this. Build-A-Bear workshop. Video chest trainer. That's what they always ask me. I'm like, what's your email? Alright, how do you spell that? It's so embarrassing. Why is this guy playing the whole game in 13 seconds and he's like a freaking genius? Are you serious? Check him out. What is going on here? Without even thinking about his moves, like... Something weird about this game. Well, he's missing a pawn, but he's a goddamn genius. Pardon my French. Imagine if he actually took his time. B6 satisfactory defense? No, A6 was hanging. No, I was losing A6, and then B6 would be like triple attacked on the next move. If he didn't play every move in like 2 seconds, I wouldn't be freaked out. I mean, how can you be... He would like overrun anyone who was 1800. He's 1846. If I was like an 1800, I've already lost on time by now, or hung a piece or something. B5 was playable, but he has C4, you know, so the beat goes on. Like, yeah, Bob, B5 was reasonable, but the beat just goes on. That's the thing. Is there snow in Budapest? Not really today. There was a little on the ground on Sunday morning. I came home from poker at 6 a.m. It was beautiful. I took a walk on the main street when the sun was coming up, and it was like Christmas lights and a very light dusting of snow, but no serious snow. We had snow last week, but it only lasted like a couple hours. Bob, you're in Puerto Rico. Quite a difference from Denmark. Is there? But no, the poker scene in Hungary is dismal. Casinos are terrible. They shut down all the poker clubs with the exception of just a couple, and there's only like private games and the really bad poker clubs with a kind of crappy atmosphere. I honestly hate it. It's painful to even go there. I mean, okay, like normal casinos are pretty ugly, but no, it used to be good. We had a blossoming poker scene back in the day when the pre-Orban government was still in power. Basically, the Christian illiberal government sort of shut it down. You can make a living playing poker, I guess. At least you could still play online. Didn't Walter Brown play serious poker tourneys? Walter was a prop player in poker rooms in California. You know, we were friends. Not really close friends, but I had dinner with Walter a couple times, and we hung out and talked. And he was playing in some, I don't know what card room, a lot in California. He was like just propping up the games and stuff. He probably played some tournaments. I think that's why he was less active in chess in his later years, because he was also playing mostly poker. He was a really interesting person, although difficult to communicate with because he was kind of egocentric. I liked him. It's funny. I don't really like egotistic people, but somehow he wasn't egotistical in a bad way. I mean, he was kind of, I don't know. I mean, it's hard not to be egotistical when you're like 7 times U.S. chess champion, I guess, a little bit. Miro's playing the C3 Sicilian. I mean the wow, new style. Oh, you used to go to Foxwoods. Oh my God. Damn, you're. I mean, I did. I played 7 card stud when I was a kid. We used to play for change. That's how I started playing poker. Even before I played chess, I started playing poker when I was like 8. We seriously played mostly 7 card stud, 5 card draw, and so my poker history goes back prior to chess. There is the main move here, A6. Oh yeah, you played Walter in the simul. I played Walter just 2 over the board games. I was always black against him. I had 2 blacks and a blitz, and in blitz I lost with black too. I drew him once, lost once in long games, and both times were Kings Indians. And then I lost to him in a blitz game and a Kings Indian as well. He was strong with d4. He had a really long game against me. It was one of my longest games. I think the longest game I ever played, actually. It was like 112 moves. Probably the longest game I ever played. It was like 8 hours. I'm not sure about adjournments. Maybe I had a longer game that was adjourned. But as far as like 1 session tournament games, my game with Walter, I messed this up. I played an old line. How did I do this? I played e6. I got distracted. All right. I played 112 move ending with Brown where I lost. It was a rook and knight ending, I think. Eventually a knight ending. It was really tough. Anyway. That was like 1991 or 1992. Wait, resigned? Nice. Dude, resigned? Nobody plays 5 card draw. I played 5 card draw like some kind of scoop tournament online. Like 5 years ago or 6 years ago, maybe more. In Poker Stars, nobody played 5 card draw anymore. I think Negriano was on my table at one point. It's funny how no one knows how to play 5 card draw. But Negriano likes playing all kinds of variants and stuff. I think I cashed in that. It was a small. Like, it's the only time in my life I ever played 5 card draw online. Anyway, we're just talking about all kinds of random stuff here. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what my longest game was in terms of moves. I probably had longer, but Brown was around 112 moves. But that it was longest in terms of like single session time because the time control was 40 moves in 2 hours. So 30, sorry, 40 moves 2 hours, 20 moves in 1 hour, then another. It was like 8 hours. It went down to the wire, and then like my next game, I was like having hallucinations and stuff. I had to play like 10 minutes after that game ended. I couldn't believe it. I was like, I always tell the story. I was in a daze, like walking up to my hotel room to go to bed, when I realized that it was like, and I was young. I mean, I really thought maybe I wasn't staying there. Maybe I was walking to my car or something. I don't know, but I was like, oh, I have to play another game in 5 minutes. Are you serious? What's up, Excel Poker? Pre-move. I miss the good old days of eight hour chess games. Yeah, no, it was 2 hours. It was two games a day, and we started at like 9 a.m. That seems early. Maybe it was 10. 10. That seems too impossible. 10 until 4. No, it's possible. It would be like 10 until 4. No, that's only 6 hours. 10 until 6. Yeah, 10 until 6, and then the next round starts at 6. So you could theoretically play till 2 in the morning. Yeah, it was like you start at 10. Yeah, the round could last until, theoretically, very few games would ever go 8 hours, of course. There might be one, every round. Maximum one. So we finished, yeah, it would have been around 6. And then the next round is starting at 6. So I had to start exactly at 6. Wow, Rook G1, I haven't seen this move since 1990. Am I supposed to play Knight B6 here? My second game started at 6 and finished around 10. I lost to Vivek Rao, who was a really strong FIDE master. He was rated like 2,500. So that was a bad day. You've got black against the 2,600 and black against the 2,500. And you lose like an 8-hour game followed by a 4-hour game. And then you get to drive home feeling good. Chess is fun on days like that. It was a good thing I was like, it was a good thing I was like 20 years old or something. Otherwise, I don't think I would have been able to withstand it. Five games in 2 days is unusual. They would rarely have tournaments like that in the U.S. I think that's more of an English thing. Sometimes they try to do 3 rounds one day, 2 rounds the other day. Sometimes tournaments in the West, it's usually Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, which is a better way of doing it. Because your whole weekend is shot. But I had this position. Yeah, I remember specifically. I think, it was this position. Maybe it was slightly different. But it's a rare line. I've never seen anyone play this, Rook G1, online. Where's Ars? He's on good terms with me. But he doesn't normally make it for the morning streams. He's milking his hangover. Yeah, they would do those tournaments sometimes where there was like 3 long games in one day. Not that long, but like maybe like a shortened version. They would do like 3 5-hour games one day, or I don't know if I ever played in one of those. I think they used to have a tournament in New Hampshire back in the days in New England. That was like 5 games in 2 days. I'm not talking about like faster time controls like game 45, game 60. That's different. But dude, I like the 40 and 2. Yeah, man. Well, I liked it when it was like 40 and 2, 20 and 1, and then another hour. Excel Poker, but that one's not bad either. The current time control is 90 minutes for 40 moves. Additionally, 30 minutes for the game and 30 seconds increment. You're basically kind of shortening the second time control and cutting out the third one. Okay, I don't know what to play here. Zen chess used a lot of time. I keep thinking like Karpov had a game in this line. Now that with white, now, Karpov used to play the Kyrgyz attack. I thought. I never really analyzed the games from the first Kasparov-Karpov match, the really long one. That was before I really got into chess. Maybe back in that. I mean, attack his knight with like e5 or bishop e4. I really have no idea what I'm doing. I'm playing a lot of stuff I never play. I basically quit playing the Skaveningen in like 1997. And I rarely do this stuff. And if it's not fresh in your mind, it's hard to play. I mean, this is more or less why I stopped playing Skaveningen. The Kyrgyz attack is extremely dangerous for black. That's an issue. So now my knight on b6 looks pretty inane. We're gonna have to get creative. Okay. Creative it is. Yeah, I'm in big trouble here, but we're gonna try to survive. Can't get mated with a knight on f7. Traps in Puerto Rico. I'm sure there are. What kind of traps? Booby traps? Tourist traps? We don't talk about what happens in Puerto Rico. I would go to Puerto Rico. I mean, it does seem like somewhat civilized. It is basically like an American state. You're not going to get me to go to Mexico, though. I was just talking about that yesterday. If you ever come to Budapest, don't let a strange girl like invite you to a bar on the street. Let's just put it that way. Nice positional game. Zen chess is sort of deceptively fast. No, the knight on d4 is the piece of the year award. Goes to that knight. So when d5 falls, I lose control of the c4 as well, which is wonderful news. We can't afford to lose the d5 pawn, clearly. Man, he's like insta-move. Having trouble finding plans here. Planet. Yeah. Yeah, that's a brilliant idea. He was winning. Obviously, after bishop f8 was a critical moment, and you missed like a double attack. Dude, you gave me. Yeah, it looked like it might have been a lane draw at one point, but you gave me a problem there. Like, with bishop f8, I was like under massive pressure the whole game, but I thought I was out of the woods here, and then he comes up with this. Bam. If I have to lose the exchange, I'm probably done, so... I mean, maybe not. Maybe I could have, like, just literally drawn like this. I mean... I don't know if this is holdable or not. Like, down the exchange with just two pawns, both sides. Is that lost? Maybe it's lost. You know, I don't know. Don't ask me about that, but... How do I defend myself here? I find bishop f8 with no time left. His bishop's hanging! His bishop's hanging. And that's not enough, because my rook's hanging. I didn't even know his bishop's hanging. Are you serious? So bishop f8 was a good move? I thought you had rook f7. Okay, well, I still don't get it. I still don't get it. Why can't you play rook f7 here? So I just, see, what I didn't appreciate was that your bishop's hanging. So I could just move my rook. For example, like rook f7, rook here. You know, I never realized his bishop was hanging. So now if he takes, I take. Wow. He probably realized, but I didn't realize. Again, if like here, you know, same thing. If rook g8 here, or something like that, or rook e8. So the point is I'm not losing a piece there. Bishop f8 is, whew, I thought I was lost, but he'd already let me off the hook at that point. He was beating me up before that. You know, the opening was really good for white. So am I wrong about knight b6 or what? I thought this was a line. It's actually wrong. Okay. So it's the previous move. Okay, this isn't right with the pawn on a6. You know, it wasn't the exact same position I was talking about. See, the problem was I was thinking of this position. Knight c6, g5, knight d7, rook g1. Or how would the move order go? Yeah, I was thinking of this. Here, rook g1, and then knight b6. I thought. There's still like no games here. It must be bishop e7. Bishop e3 first. Then we would get it. Here, here, like here or something. But there's not many games, to be honest. You didn't see what? Just take on d8. Guys, please gift a sub. Feel free to donate. Support the stream. I'm basically a street performer. So, it's Monday. It's our first day of the week. Bob, thanks for being a subscriber, by the way. Snoopy Scoop followed. EFF followed. And I Am Leon Legend has followed. Follower of Leon the I Am Legend. So where? Wait. We got off the hook. Once you traded queens. But what's up? Take on d8? No, your rook's hanging. This is a draw. Bob's like, it's going to be a boring draw. Yeah, this is a boring draw. This is what we expected. You know, it's an opposite color draw. You're not a subscriber. Oh, I'm going to have to time you out for that. No, knight b6 was bad there. It wasn't the appropriate position. So you see, my memory isn't so good. It was just a similar position. Your draw was earlier? Well, I think once we traded queens, it should have been a draw. You know, honestly, Bob. Excel Poker, another strong player. Mother Russia. Mother Russia doesn't pay enough, apparently. Alright. Dubov's going to get some polonium in his next tea. Alright, let's go. What are we going to play here? We're just being sarcastic. I don't know. I don't really think it's a betrayal, EFF. But apparently Karyakin has some problem with Dubov. I don't know what's going on. But there's a lot of patriotic people, you know. I mean, when you're helping the team and you're a patriot in Russia, you're helping the Norwegian world champion. I get how the ultra-nationalistic people are offended by that. I can get that. I'm not nationalistic, and I hate nationalism, but I understand why they're offended. But again, you know, I say, you know, polonium. Polonium's expensive, though, probably. Yeah. Gulag's cheaper solution. No, he's really just a spy. Maybe he's like a real he's embedded double spy in Carlson's camp. Dude, I live in Hungary. I mean, people don't understand like capitalism properly. It's very hard for former socialist countries to understand someone doing a capitalistic kind of thing. I'm going to put myself ahead of the state. Dude, freedom is not a thing everywhere. Players can go anywhere they like. Really? Depends on where you're from. I haven't seen I haven't seen any Chinese players in Hungary lately. Um Sona Timex? Am I a lefty? What does that mean? I'm a righty, but I'm not right wing politically. But you know what I hate honestly is like categorizing everyone. It's way out of control. Like everyone either has to be a righty or a lefty. Like why do we have to do that? Why do we have to put people into camps, you know? This is one of the biggest problems, honestly. Like we don't have to put everybody in a camp, you know. I'm not in that camp or that camp, you know. I mean seriously, that's like, oh, he's a radical leftist. It's like, why? Why do I have to fit into this category? You know, people are people. I have certain views that are more conservative. I have other views that are more liberal. But this is one of the biggest things, honestly, for me. It's just, you know, way out of control. The Dems, the Libs. This is totally overused and exaggerated. It's crazy, dude. It is partly, of course, the media. Of course, the media plays a huge role in it. I am not, I am not extreme in my views, but I really hate this. Like, you have to be one camp or the other camp. It's not a team battle between Democrats and Republicans. I mean, that's the problem with the United States right now. There's no, you're either the enemy or you're with us or you're against us. You know, that's, you're destroying your own country with that attitude. People have to work together, you know. I mean, it's insane. Not only like people within a country too, like the entire world should work together, but that's never going to happen, you know, to help each other. I don't understand why so many people like to play knight takes c6 in the Sicilian. Well, honestly, I'm not sure if it's the chicken or the eggs in chess. Like, the media just does what the demand is out there. You know, I think it's very complex. It's not like some master puppet controller is out there planning to make it polarizing. I think it just happens naturally. Um, People like that combative polarization. Yeah, yeah. I mean, most news is kind of like propaganda. It's hard to find objective news. I was never, as political as I am now, but I've become more politically interested because obviously the world is freaking crazy. I try not to go on political rants, but sometimes I get ranty. Preferring for his own benefits. I mean, he represents Russia. in the chess world, right? He plays for Russia, you know. Like for example, it's a complicated thing. I mean, is Dubov playing for the Russian Olympic team? Assuming they're allowed to play. You know, he has a relationship as a member of like the Russian chess team. Yet, you know, when a Russian team member is playing for the world champion, he's helping the opposing. You know, it's understandable that it's a conflict. You know, I think it's reasonable. I can see the conflict there. You know, it's not unreasonable for someone to take issue with it. But I think, you know, in a democratic world, of course, he's allowed to support who he wants. But I mean, I could see that, you know, if he's part of like the national team or something. But I don't know that Dubov is even high enough rated to be on the Russian national team. You know, he's not in the top six or right. Was he on the Russian Olympic team? Do they even have an Olympic team? I mean, with the doping stuff, the Paniachi wasn't allowed to have a Russian flag, right? Because of Olympic doping. There's that element. Invade Grenada. The old days when the news reported on impending war with Iran, yeah. Things were much simpler back then, Bob. Now, like, Americans hate themselves. It was easier when our enemy was, like, without. You know, now the enemies are within. It's ridiculous that the news is gun-toting senators and they're fighting over masks or whatever. We had, I like the good old days when we were just worried about nuclear war and stuff. It was much simpler back then. I agree with Bob. I don't know why, but I agree with Bob. For once. I don't watch the news, you know, but I turn on my phone and there's these I literally don't watch news, you know. I don't turn on like the TV or watch news programs. I just read the news, you know. Who here believes, let's take a vote. Who here believes that a duty to the country? I have a duty to my country. Dude, I have to pay taxes to the US government in order to be a US citizen. I don't know about you. I'm forced to pay my money to the US government to be an American, or they'll put me in jail. It's just not right. It's a free country, but I have to pay taxes to the federal government. I mean, I could not pay taxes, but if I go back to the United States, then they would put me in jail. So therefore, I have to pay taxes. Or change my citizenship. And even then, I would have to pay taxes for like 5 years or something. Boris Johnson was born an American citizen. Didn't he like refuse to pay some taxes or something? Does anybody know that story? Like, what's the deal? Did Boris Johnson like forfeit his U.S. citizenship? Does he still owe the money to the does he still owe money to the IRS? Check out Excel Poker here. Whoa. Take, bishop d5, queen g3 check. Take, oh my god. Alright, yeah, that's a no-brainer. There goes a pawn. Man, this guy's brutalizing me. Extremely accurate and fast. You guys were too distracting today with the comments section. Well, I don't know if there's a question of whether you want to be a citizen or not, you know. Nobody ever asked me if I wanted to be a citizen. I mean, you just are or you aren't. I don't think it matters if you want to be. I'm not sure that counts. Nobody asked me if I wanted to be a US citizen. Whoa. I guess I'm kind of lost here. I always have cheapos. So much for the cheapos. Yeah, too good today, Excel Poker. You really took your Wheaties. What is this? What is knight takes c6, seriously? Why are you playing knight takes c6? What is that move? That can't be a good move. Yeah, I stopped taking him seriously enough when he played that. Black's fully okay here, but queen c7 is bad. If I hadn't been a little distracted, I would prefer to play knight d7 in retrospect. And I wasted too much time. Queen c7 doesn't look like the right move. You know, I think knight d7 is better. Black should be fully okay here. Okay, the next move was apparently a blunder. Hundyuk. Man, that guy's been around forever. 1998. Yeah, Yano Dori. Speaking of nationalists. We had a very unpleasant car ride with him a couple weeks ago. Someone brought up politics. I was like, oh my god, what did I do? Knight f5 was a nice move. Yeah, how the hell did you get your knight to f5 here? How did he get his knight to f5? This is unbelievable. I mean, nobody in their right mind makes this move. Like, seriously, it's knight c5 or bishop c5, you know. But Excel Poker plays knight c3 with the plan of knight f5. Like, Who plays that move? That's so weird. And he goes all the way back around the long way and like sneaks into f5. Who would have anticipated that? Meanwhile, I was like distracted on the queen side. And I really wanted to sack the exchange here. A la Botvinnik, but it's just not enough compensation. I mean, you could probably do this. Let's see. I mean, I honestly really wanted to sack the exchange here. I didn't think I had enough compensation. Yeah, it's not enough. Because the dark squares are a little weak. But computer thinks it's just not enough. Here, threatening bishop c5, maybe bishop d6. Yeah, it's not enough. Here's a nice move. You can just allow it with the back rank mate. Yeah. Anyway, good job. Do we have any other challenges? Mirales? Well, if I realized what his plan was, I would have taken some sort of steps to prevent it. But I don't anticipate knight c3. You know, it looked like the position was equal. Actually, I mean g6 was a blunder. It turns out. If I had known that I couldn't take on f5, I also thought I could take on f5 with a pawn. Now this is a question. The problem is f6. I realized too late like how strong this threat is. He's got f6 with queen g3. So I thought I could simply play like bishop d5. You know, maybe this is playable. In retrospect. How bad is this? Bishop h6, I play king h8. I mean, this is not a problem. Or maybe it is, because of f6 still. And then bishop g7. You could have some really funky line here. My first instinct was that you couldn't do it, you know. Just immediately f6. This. I don't like this. Oh, you mean f6 for you? Yeah. Take here, f6. I mean, here I can play king h8 maybe. I mean, like this is bad too. You have bishop takes. Yeah, I'm just falling apart on the dark squares. So on knight f5 I just can't take it, but I might as well not even bother to play g6 then. I just weaken my king side for no reason, you know. If I can't play g6, then I should play something like rook d8 and then just bishop f8 or just take it, you know. Anything's better than what I did. White's better here, but I'm not necessarily lost. Nah, nothing would save me. Anglo-Saxon raiding with a party of 125. Wow. Thanks for the huge raid. Anglo-Saxon raiding with a party of 25. We only have half an hour left. Big raid. Anglo-Saxon. Anglo-Saxon in the past raided with like one player. This time he came with 125. It's all or nothing. Welcome. Nice to meet you, Double F. Double F. We'll just call him Double F instead of FW. Double F. Double V. You gotta dash off Anglo-Saxon. Thanks for bringing the raid. Alright, Mirales. Just F. That's easier. Okay. Welcome, Raiders. We got challenges. You brought the Raiders with you? Pass them on. I don't know if there's anyone for me to pass my Raiders onto. There's no streamer streaming that I like currently. Just people I don't really like. Maybe before I finish there'll be someone. Alright, we played e4. I don't normally play this. Yeah, sure, Bob. He's a big friend of mine. I have nothing against him, but he's never, you know. No, he's not gonna get Grandmaster. I don't raid Grandmasters. No, I raid real Grandmasters. Only real Grandmasters get my raid. The thing is, I don't like chess.com, so I don't really raid the people who have chess.com space streams. It doesn't make sense, you know. Since I don't play on chess.com religiously, I can't really. Occasionally, if it's someone who I really, you know, who streams here on Lichess and it seems inconsistent to do that. Ivanchuk. Ivanchuk is mental, man. That's crazier than Jababa. What is Bishop B4 check? And why are you playing the Queen's Gambit accepted? Don't talk about Ivanchuk. Why? We're not allowed to talk about him? Okay. I took a secondary line immediately. What do you mean? This is like main line. What's secondary about this? Oh, I played knight f3? No. I didn't take a secondary line. Well, you played a secondary line. You're not supposed to play e6 here. You're supposed to play like knight b6. e4 is like, well, the most aggressive move against the Queen's Gambit accepted. I don't normally play e4, but you don't normally play the Queen's Gambit accepted, so there. Yeah. I get it. This was game 300. This is game 403. That's what you get for pre-moving. When I started streaming chess on Twitch, there would be like 1 or 0 streams. They're all copying me, Zen Chess. I wasn't one of the first ones. But I'm not a bandwagon person. You know, I didn't start streaming because it was popular. Now everybody's streaming. I hate that. It's like getting a tattoo. You know, I got a tattoo back in 1997, and then like, you know, 10 years later, like everyone has tattoos. It's like something's not cool once it becomes like standard. You know, it ceases to be cool. If everyone does it, then why is it cool anymore? It's just killing it, you know. Great Lazarus. Yeah, there weren't many streamers when I started streaming. Yeah, Bob, I know. But it's like, I'm the first motorcycle gang member to get a tattoo. But I'm just saying, like, it wasn't like ridiculously exaggerated. Like, everyone has tattoos now. You know what I mean? You don't even want to give me a little bit of credit for being right, like, just for once. Just for once, you know. Maybe you cannot find something contrary to say. How over popular are tattoos in the last, like, 15 years or so? Whereas it used to be, like, socially taboo. It's like online poker, you know, starting online poker in like 2015 or something, you know. It's like playing the London system in 2018. Like you're a little late to get on the bandwagon. Of course, Chess Network, because Chess Network wasn't really a streamer. I mean, he was doing what, like his YouTube channel. I would call it YouTuber, not streamer. But yeah, I guess he does the live streams, but primarily the YouTube. Yeah, Chess Network did a lot. A London system tattoo, and I want to get a poker tattoo. But I decided a long time ago I would only get a tattoo every 25 years. That's my, because otherwise it's like overdone. So the next one is coming. Yeah, you play the London, you're lame, man. Playing the London just turns me off. But tattoos, they just don't look as good on black people. It's like Dennis Rodman, you know? There's not enough contrast. I'm serious. Is that controversial to say that? Sure, Bob. Yeah, I'm gonna get kicked off. Totally racist thing to say. Dude, it's true. You don't have enough contrast. It's hard to see the colors. It's a scientific fact. It's not a racist statement. I mean, you can't see the colors when black people have tattoos as much. It's a problem. I think that Dennis Rodman's tattoos would be cool, but you can't see them that well, you know. Well, if I thought it was in the slightest insulting, I would apologize, but Dam's coming with the H3 and G4. I mean, I'm just like super white, so that's my curse. I can't even get a tan. It takes me like 2 months to get a tan. I have to go to the beach. Yeah, right. That's true. Dennis Rodman isn't that dark. It doesn't. I mean, that's why he has them. It doesn't look. It's noticeable. They're noticeable. All right, we're gonna go with F4. Right. Look at Mayari, but they're also not as dark. Dennis Rodman is not a freak at all. We gotta go in like 20 minutes. Thanks for the raid. Currently visiting North Korea. Who's your favorite? Michael Jordan doesn't have any tattoos, right? Who's your favorite player? Maurice? Who are you talking about? You're talking about basketball players? Jess Zebra? I guess you're talking about basketball players. I guess chess. Larry Bird. Larry Bird has tons of tats. That's not correct, Bob. Better resistance to the sun is not politically correct. I'm surprised you would agree with anything, Bob. Your usual procedure is to try to foment disagreement. So it's nice to see you agreeing to agree. Agreeing to agree. For once. Anyway, I lost my focus on the chess game. I just need more social. I need more social contact. I spend my whole stream like reading the chat instead of focusing on the games. It's a very, very bad habit. I'm way too chat oriented. I need more social outlets. It's just that's why I play so badly. Same thing happens in poker. It's ever since like living in a foreign country like an outsider and then you got the pandemic on top of it. I'm starved for social contact. Pay too much attention to the chat here. How's my night doing? How's my night driving? It's good. It's good. Very relevant. Should I go to G8? Mm-hmm. I guess we'll play it this way. Now what do I do? Man. Yeah, you gotta be careful not to get radicalized by Bob. He's like the least focused on chess of anyone who watches my stream. It's extremely distracting. He's a very bad influence on me when I'm streaming. Why do you watch chess streams if you don't even like chess? You gotta wonder. Because here I am not paying attention to the game half the time. White's better, I guess. Maybe not, you know? Sort of went sideways for White. Interesting move, though. I still think he's okay. Like how... I mean, I have to like walk my pawns down the board, holding hands. Look at this guy. Where am I gonna sack? Sack mate. Who's gonna get mated? Oh, he found a tactic. That's pretty nasty. Say what? I mean, if I lose c5, probably lost. Wow, I was like totally lost here. It's a good thing he was low on time. So he has e5 or what? Oh, rook e1. Oh my god. He had rook e1. So I'm just lost. I mean, there's no move. My queen is trapped. Rook takes d4 just wins by force. You just trapped my queen. Jesus. Yeah, I actually had more time there. I never should have put my bishop on d4, I guess, or I should just stay here. But what do I do? h5? Should I just try to do h5, g4? No, you have rook takes d4 again. Jeez, it even works there. You're threatening it now. So I literally like have to go back. It was never a good idea to put my bishop on d4. Used to like Nako when he played strong players. Well, now it's just about entertainment. I haven't played Naka since 2003. All right. We have time for one more game. Let's get another challenge. Yeah, but I don't think this position is easy to play, you know, honestly. Like, one leak in the dam and I just, like, fall apart. You know, he's got this very strong pawn chain. My white squares are weak, you know, all over the board. So if, like, you know, again, like, one little leak appears in the position, I'm done, you know. If somehow he breaks through the blockade, yeah, I'm hosed. I mean, I really have to be very, very careful. If I can play h5, g4 maybe, or I can walk my pawns down, but it's very hard to walk them down. You know, he's got blockading moves. I don't think this is that clear. Repun's challenged me to again. Anglo-Saxon. We know that. What do you mean, Bob? He raided. Anglo-Saxon. Did raid. We've got 137 viewers. Yeah, I had the dynamic chances, but it's precarious. I didn't like having to trade off my white square bishop, honestly. You know, that leaves a lot of weaknesses behind my lines. Yeah, luckily Great Lazarus didn't have much time to find the winning move. At least I'm playing a little bit faster. So what is this bishop g5? Like hanging a pawn? Novelty. You won't find that in the opening explorer. Nothing important about the e4 pawn. Well, I mean, I don't know. I would give my right arm to be like the second best player in the world. If I wanted to be rich, I would have done something else. I guess Hikaru maybe never had a choice. I mean, I have a lot of wealthy friends who are in business, and they like only thought about money from the time they started college. Honestly, I'm kind of like disappointed with someone like Hikaru. He sort of sold out. I would say it's like selling out. But I guess he felt he couldn't become world champion. So if he can't become world champion, there was nowhere else to go. I don't know. But seriously, who becomes a chess player to get rich? I mean, now we have a few people, but still, he's Hikaru is the ice cube of the chess world. Um, I don't know. Dude, I don't know about that, Bob. Just hold on a second. Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know, Bob. I don't know about his parents. His mother didn't seem like the pushy type. Yeah, I mean, maybe Sunil, his stepfather, pushed him because his stepfather was a chess coach. While that's true, a lot of kids. I don't know. Has Hikaru said that openly that he felt he was forced to become a chess player? I never thought of him as like, a Polgar sister. Honestly, his mom seemed really chill compared to most chess parents, and Sunil is he's a chess coach. His whole life is about teaching chess, but I don't know if he really like forced Hikaru to play. Yeah, I mean Hikaru's brother was like 2100 when he quit. I remember him. I don't think that he's not as bad. He wasn't forced like the Polgar sisters or something. Now you're making me lose my concentration again. Hikaru is not the quintessential example of a player who was forced by his parents to play. Um, there are a lot of them out there, but I don't think he's that bad. Which I hate, dude. I hate when like parents are like that. That's why I don't like teaching kids because their parents are really annoying. Kamsky, exactly. Kamsky is an example. The Polgars, their parents are like militantly forcing them to do chess. That's awful, dude. No, and see, you could see Hikaru probably enjoys chess a little bit more than them. Kamsky always seemed like he was suffering. Right. I became a good player because I was rivals with a friend. Adrianosaur. It's very interesting that you say that. The primary driver of my improvement was my rivalry with my best friend, and I think that's great. It's probably the best thing for improving is to have a rival. Um, for getting better at the game. All right, I'm gonna check here. It's not really a good position. No, I mean I know Sunil, and I never saw him really forcing his kid to play. And look, when his brother quit, they let him just quit. It wasn't he had the choice to quit. He didn't force Hikaru's brother to keep playing. They could have tried to force him to keep playing. He was a good player. He was as high rated as Hikaru back in the day. Don't choose Stockfish as your rival because it's bad for your game. Keeping kids focused is one thing, but like forcing them. brutally, like, you know, against their will to do something is another thing. You know, there's obviously it's all relative. Good luck, man. Thank you, Kanan. Don't play computers too much though. It's bad for your game. It makes you like fearful. I think that a limited amount of playing against computers is probably good, but it will alter your style and make you like, you know, afraid to do anything. Look at this. My opponent turns into Nimzovich after walking his king across the board. Alright. At least we can do that. My parents didn't know how to play chess. They didn't understand. But they were supportive of it. Which is the way I think parents should be. Damn. Alright. Gotta be careful. Strongest 1850 in the world. Sort of. I guess defense is not his specialty. Still, he's in the game. It's not over. Maybe, I don't know, maybe I should take on g5 here. How do I get away with that, though? He's got knight e4. Knight c4. Wow, he instantly sees this move? Jesse, bro, I'm not so sure what's going on here. It's pretty complicated. There's no way that I could calculate that in a limited amount of time. I'm just going to have to play this rook ending. I don't really see another way to go. It's unclear what my best move was. And he finds an awful lot of very strong moves. Almost instantaneously. Oh. Then there's like the occasional blunder. It's like very similar to the last game I played with him. How can he be like 1850, you know? I don't get it. Holy shit. Look at this. Here we go again. What? A2? How is this guy seriously 1850? And he never uses any time for any of his moves. It's wild. It's unbelievable. I missed a big tactic. I know. I missed like 100 tactics. I've been in time pressure the entire game because he never has to use any time. And he sees these tactics like instantaneously. I mean, I've played enough games with him, but it's unbelievable. He would wipe out like any kind of 1800 players, I would think. Based on how fast he is. How could it be 1850? Alright, I gotta go. Yeah, I mean, I was probably lost at some point. I don't know. That position... Yeah, the cheat software, it makes occasional blunders. You have to unlock, like, the proper level. Yeah, he reached the drawn position. The speed is so fast that it doesn't give me time to play good moves. Yeah, so that was the key position. This is an amazing position. I didn't think he would see rook takes d7, but watch this, how fast he sees this. Well, I mean, I guess it's not that hard. What are you going to do, you know? Well, he's up the exchange. He doesn't have to play rook takes d7 here. But I didn't see a win for me. Maybe I missed, like, queen before check immediately, but he has this. This is the problem. Like, here. You know? That was my problem. Do I have some messed up mate or something with bishop f5? Like... But why are you 1850? You know, you're too good to be 1850. Is my point. If you were like 2100, I would understand, but you're so fast. I can't believe you're 1850. It just doesn't make sense. Dude, I have all these moves I have to find. You know, I don't know. Apparently he should play king c2. There's no way to know if I'm winning here or not. You know, I couldn't calculate this. I should have gone for the ending. But it's a draw. Yeah, I'm a pawn, but it's a draw. Totally. Because this is weak. It's like all of his pawns are weak. And I'm the one that's like, I can't win. Rook c3 after king c1. Right, but I didn't see, you know, like, what it did. I looked at this, but I thought he could sack his queen. You know, I mean, he's starting back rank mate. So I have to win his rook with check, and I didn't see how I win his rook with check. That's my problem. First I saw this, but I don't see winning this rook with check. Where do I win his rook with check? My problem was this, you know. You have to calculate this, and then keep calculating, you know. Adriana Sar. So you have to keep calculating. I'm getting mated in one, and I didn't see a clear win. I didn't have the, you know, I didn't have the presence of mind to be like, oh, okay, I can just play h6. You know, I would find that in a rapid game, but I was like looking for something more concrete. I could check here, okay, take that. I could probably, that's about as far as I could calculate. You know, and then something like maybe king f8. Let's say king f3, king f8. Not the best move, apparently. I have another series of checks. Yeah. I should have done that. But I shouldn't have played rook e3, but I couldn't find the best move here. Bishop f5 check, king h1, king a1, king a1, rook e1 check, king c1. Yeah, I just didn't have this idea. Like, I love this move, rook b5. I didn't see the idea of h6 in time pressure. You know. He was always under the, almost always under the, under the sea level in that game. But again, you know, I have 5 seconds. 3 seconds, whatever. Yeah, another perfect game. 77 CPL. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for the raid. And we'll be back. We'll be back. Tomorrow night is... What is tomorrow night? Tomorrow night is a Blitz tournament. We're gonna host. This is not my worst Centipon loss. Believe me. Not even close. Tomorrow night we're gonna host a Rapid Blitz tournament at 6:30. 6:45 starts the tournament, so join us for that. Thanks everyone. Yeah, I'll become a GM next year's World Senior Championship. Later, guys. Bye bye.